Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Ruger. Today, I just want to talk about three basic items I believe every security professional should have. And of course, they can go ahead and go beyond this. But having worked in the security industry for many years now, I've seen different standards or no standards throughout. So, at the minimum, I believe these three things should be on every single security officer on their body, on their uniform, ready to go whenever they are. While it's great to have a medkit in the vehicle, to have it back in HQ, in the office somewhere, um, these three items need to be on that security professional just because they're life saving equipment and it needs to go wherever the security professional is, right? Sometimes we uh, can't expect these things, the unexpected happens, and we need to be able to rock and roll. So, starting off right off the back, gloves. So medical gloves, and this is pretty straightforward. A lot of calls we get, we need to be able to do a patient assessment, be able to help out that patient, whether they have blood or vomit on them, be able to have some gloves, use what your company, your agency, your department issues you, gives you what they have because um, gloves, you just go through them pretty quickly, and especially with all of COVID, I know it's pretty hard to get gloves. So try not to get black ones, but if that's what they're giving you, use what they give you. I've done this with gloves. I know sometimes we just throw them in our pockets. These are small little baggies that I get. I put in a pair of gloves if I need them. It's easier to throw in my pocket. If I don't have a medical glove pouch, it's easier to throw a couple of them. And then if I don't use them at the end of the shift, end of the day, I can just reuse them. So instead of just piling glove after glove, right, we throw in our back pocket and our cargo pocket, and now we have all these gloves. This is easier, kind of helps you conserve gloves if you don't use them. If you do need them, these simple bags, just rip it apart, get your pair of gloves. If you need to give a partner or someone else gloves, it's easier to hand them a pair of gloves like that. But there's multiple reasons, not just medically. Sometimes there's paraphernalia. You deal with personal belongings. You can assist with vehicle issues, provide jumps, different things that you need gloves, and they're cheap, right? This is the cheapest thing on the list today. Make sure you have a good pair of medical gloves, and of course, one is none, two is one. Have to. Okay, moving on. Next, it's going to be a tourniquet, and use what a tourniquet you prefer. I really prefer the combat application tourniquet by North American Rescue. That's what I have here. I do have, I do know other people carry the soft tees. Some people even go with the SWAT tourniquet. Use whatever they issue you. Use whatever you have, whatever your community partners use, whatever your agency uses. But if they don't use any, which a lot of security departments, a lot of security professionals don't have any tourniquets, get some training, of course. But I always recommend the cat tourniquet. I think it's the more popular one, so more likelihood that you'll run into someone else carrying this one and be easier to apply emergency situation to them or on yourself. But have a tourniquet. We're talking about preventing life-threatening bleeding. We're talking about, if you get injured or a pedestrian or one of your clients, your customers, another security officer, a police officer, someone needs their bleeding to stop, tourniquet. Someone be able to bleed out in less than 5 minutes. That's before PD gets there. That's before the fire department gets there. That's before you run back to the office and get that medical kit. And hopefully that med kit, has tourniquets. Hopefully it has trauma supplies opposed to just your standard OSHA office required medical kit. So have a tourniquet. Know how to apply it on yourself. Know how to apply it one-handedly. Know how to proper document this. Make sure you don't bleed out. Tourniquet. Of course, you need to be able to carry on yourself. So I always like the single holder instead of having it somewhere in the med kit where it's a little bit harder to retrieve. Some med kits do a better job of being able to easily access that tourniquet. If not, just get the single tourniquet holder. This is a cloth one. They do have some Kydex ones, some plastic ones. Go with what goes with your uniform. what works with you. This is a cheap option right here. I know I have had certain jobs that they don't want, again, the medical supply showing, especially not a tourniquet, or it's not approved. They don't, your agency or your boss has not approved you carrying a tourniquet, so now you have to conceal carry it because you're carrying it for yourself. Carrying your waistband on your ankle, however you carry it, make sure you have a proper way of carrying it or secure it properly. But that's item number 2. Make sure you have a good tourniquet, and of course, knowing how to use all these items. And then lastly, it's going to be a CPR, face shield, face mask. There are other things out there. There are, of course, you can get a BVM. Different companies make them, right? You can get a, let's see, back here I have a bigger pocket mask, right? This is pretty good. But this and the BVM, you're not able to carry on your body 100%. You're not able to carry on your uniform. The other mask you might be able to carry in a cargo pocket, but it's bulky. I think eventually you'll stop carrying it just because, it's bulky and you don't want to be carrying that. It takes up too much real estate on your uniform. This is a simple mask here. Hang it on your keychain. Hang it on your tourniquet holder. Hang it somewhere on your body armor, on your belt. Make sure you have something. This is what it looks like. Super simple design. You can get it for $1, maybe cheaper, depending where you get it. Different colors if you don't like the bright red sticking out. But it's pretty much a piece of plastic that tells you where to put it, and it does have some ear loops to put around the patient or victim. And then it has a one-way valve. So as you provide breath, they are able to get the air, but they're not able to throw it back on you, or you're not gonna get any of their saliva, their spit, anything of that sort. This is handy to have. Of course, know your CPR, know what to do in case of an emergency. Again, these are 3 basic items I believe every security professional should be having on their body, on their uniform at all times. So again, it's good to have it in your vehicle, have redundancy, have multiple, but have these on your body because you never know when a medical emergency might happen. So again, we're looking at gloves, have multiple pairs. We're looking at a tourniquet. This is for self-aid or buddy aid, or even a client aid. And then lastly, we're looking at some sort of CPR face shield, kind of small, something that's going to go in your key ring. And of course, again, can't, stress this enough, have proper medical training, but we need to start upgrading our uniforms, start upgrading that body armor, that duty belt, and kind of expanding the scope of security officer, right? A lot of the calls, from my experience from security, are medical calls. They might not be as extreme as someone bleeding out or needing a full-on CPR. But again, if that emergency happens for life-threatening bleeding, you have 5 minutes or less. If someone's having a stroke or someone is having a heart attack, that's 7 minutes or less before they're brain dead. Right? Time is heart, time is brain, time is blood. Have these things on you as a security professional. And then here's a bonus item. A lot of security professionals, I am a EMT and I've been for many years, worked in that capacity for many things, now mostly in emergency management. But I made these quick reference cards. Right, this is Stop the Bleeds right here. And then in the back I do have CPR. So this is just a basic reminder. Sometimes medical is not people's strong suit, not something they enjoy. So unfortunately sometimes every 2 years we are checking off the box. But this is just something that you can throw on your badge holder, you can throw on your your keys, and just have it with you. So here it is. I do have other cards I've made, right? Some for kind of active shooters, ASHR situations, mass casualty situations. But again, just throw on your keys, right? It's on your side all the time when you're bored at post, when you're driving to that emergency. Kind of do a quick reference right? If you don't know what to do, if you forgot while someone's actively performed CPR, quickly go down the checklist, right? Hey, is the scene safe? Is this patient responsive? Check for responsiveness, right? Make sure you have additional units coming. Call for help, 911, FD, PD. Make sure they have pulse or breaths. And if not, be able to provide those high quality compressions if none of that's present. Don't forget to open the airway when you do give the breaths, but this is a good reference card. Again, we got for stop the bleed and CPR. This is just kind of an extra thing. Some people do love medical like myself, but it's always good to refresh. But that's it. That's today's video. These are 3 items that I believe every security professional should have. If you have more, let me know. Let me know what other things you guys carry on your body armor, on your vest, your duty belts. But make sure you stay safe. Have a good one, everyone.